whenever you look at the internet, it's always talking about, it's got the watery ocean language all the way fucking through it.
Oh, I didn't know there was a deep web and then a
Pages
dark
that are
web.
indexed by traditional search engines such as Google, Bing, and Yahoo.
Yeah.
This means that the content within the surface
Hang on.
web can be easily found.
So basically, this is the explanation of what the internet entails. There's a lot of it that we don't even realize is part of the internet because, again, it's like we have a retarded perspective on it, right? Anyway, here we go. I'll just play like 2 minutes, all right?
The surface web, also known as the visible or indexed web, represents the first and most accessible layer of the internet. It encompasses all websites and web pages that are indexed by traditional search engines such as Google, Bing, and Yahoo. This means that the content within the surface web can be easily found and retrieved by using search engines, making it the most familiar and widely used portion of the internet by the general public. It includes everything from news websites, online stores, social media platforms, forums, educational resources, and more. At its core, the surface web operates through a system of servers and browsers communicating using protocols such as HTTP, meaning Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or its secure counterpart HTTPS. When a user types a URL into their web browser or submits a query to a search engine, the browser sends a request to the web server that hosts the corresponding content. If the content is indexed and publicly available, the server responds by sending the requested data back to the browser, which then displays it for the user. This simple interaction forms the basis of web browsing and defines much of the surface web experience. Search engines deploy automated programs known as web crawlers or spiders that systematically browse the internet and index pages based on keywords, metadata, and other elements. These index pages are then ranked and presented to users through search results. The process is governed by algorithms that aim to provide the most relevant content based on a user's query. Web developers and content creators often utilize search engine optimization techniques to increase the visibility of their website within the surface web. Security and privacy are also important aspects of the surface web. Websites that use HTTPS.
I mean, just them saying surface.
And it's all going through servers. Who's it serving, right?
Yeah. It's just the whole connection with the web and spiders and the ocean and the waters. It's just like, we're starting to see where our nightmares come from, is what I'm feeling here.
It's very watery, man.
Very watery.
Encrypt data transferred between the user's browser and the server, providing a basic level of protection against eavesdropping and tampering. However, not all websites offer the same level of security, and users can be exposed to risks such as phishing, malware, and data tracking. Cookies and other tracking technologies are commonly used to collect user data for analytics and advertising purposes, raising concerns about online privacy. Web users are often encouraged to use browser extensions, VPNs, and private browsing modes to help safeguard their information while navigating the surface web. The surface web continues to evolve with advancements in technology, and the increasing use of certain content, interactive features, and AI-driven tools has transformed how users interact with websites. Although the surface web is vast, it actually represents only a small fraction of the total content available on the internet. Estimates suggest that it only comprises less than 10% of all online data. The remainder lies beyond the reach of standard search engines and is categorized as the deep web and, further down, the dark web. The deep web is the second layer of the internet, sitting just below the easily accessible surface web, and is often misunderstood due to its mysterious reputation. Unlike the surface web, the deep web consists of web content that is hidden from search engine crawlers. This layer includes all the online data and services that are not indexed and therefore do not appear in typical search engine results. However, contrary to popular belief, the deep web is not inherently secretive or illegal. It simply contains information that is behind logins, paywalls, or other access controls. The majority of content on the internet actually resides within the deep web. This includes anything stored in private databases, dynamic pages generated in response to specific queries, academic journals behind subscription walls, personal email accounts, online banking systems, medical records, and more. These systems often require authentication or specific URLs to access, making them invisible to standard search engines. For instance, when someone logs into their email or accesses their bank account online, they are navigating the deep web, not the surface web. Technically, the deep web operates in much the same way as the surface web. It uses the same internet protocols.
I mean, that's good enough to pause on. Navigating the deep web instead of the surface web. So, I mean, all these, like, to even explain the internet, we are going deep into the ocean right now. Like, it's
Totally.
full of that
I mean,
language.
we navigate on land now, obviously, but the word comes from ocean navigation.
Yep. Yes.
Navigation, right? It's on the surface of the deep, it's like in our face, right?
Yes, man. Yes. We're basically building a case to kick us all off the internet, by the way. So anyway,
Yes.
here we go.
Such as HTTP or HTTPS, and is hosted on web servers. However, the main difference lies in how its content is protected or hidden. Many deep web pages are dynamically generated, meaning they are created on demand based on user input, such as a database query or a form submission. Because search
just pause on that. That means every time we input a question or go searching for something, we are basically creating the deep web. That's what it just said. So our very usage of this thing is creating this thing.
And making it bigger, our attention, yeah.
engine bots are unable to interact with these input forms in meaningful ways. The content behind them is not indexed, and thus remains out of reach for the average search engine user. Accessing the deep web does not require any special tools or software beyond a regular web browser. What is required, however, is knowledge of where the content resides and the proper credentials or permissions to access it. In this way, the deep web is not so much hidden as it is private. Websites intentionally keep this content out of public view to protect user privacy, secure sensitive information, or restrict access to subscribers or authorized users. Importantly, the deep web is distinct from the dark web, although the two terms are sometimes mistakenly used interchangeably. In terms of its role in the internet ecosystem, the deep web is very important. It supports secure communication, enables e-commerce transactions, protects user identities, and hosts a vast amount of valuable information that is not meant for public consumption.
Oh, not meant for public consumption.
It's dangerous
Very
to us.
sensitive.
They're just protecting us. Come
on. Public consumption. We can't handle it. We're like little children.
And they can over-censor the surface web.
Yep.
They can make the deep web secure, and they're always so nice, right? Change your password because someone will hack you.
Yeah.
And the dark web is completely uncensored.
Ah, the dark web. Let's
Right?
get to that.
So,
I mean,
like, what's going on here?
I know. I mean, it's just like just looking at this. This is a very mainstream explanation, right? This is not a conspiracy theorist talking about this. This is a mainstream explanation of the internet. And look at what we're looking at right now. Look at that.
I mean, that image, I just keep seeing the torch, right? The Statue of Liberty.
Oh, Satan.
Without the deep web, online activities that require privacy and personalization would not be possible.
Ooh.
The dark web is the most concealed and least accessible layer of the internet. It is intentionally hidden and cannot be accessed through standard browsers or indexed by conventional search engines like Google or Bing. Instead, the dark web requires specialized software, most notably Tor, which is designed to anonymize both users and hosts. While the dark web is often sensationalized in media as a place full of illegal activity, it also serves legitimate purposes, specifically in situations where privacy is important. What sets the dark web apart from the rest of the internet is its architecture. Websites on the dark web use encrypted networks and operate under special domains, typically ending in .onion rather than the standard .com or .org. These sites are hosted on an overlay network that exists on top of the regular internet, but is only accessible via software that supports onion routing. Onion routing works by sending data through a series of volunteer-run servers, or nodes, each of which peels away a layer of encryption like the layers of an onion. This system makes it extremely difficult to trace the origin or destination of data, ensuring high levels of privacy for both site operators and users.
Oh, it's so important, Campbell, because without that, what would we have in this world if there's no like deep privacy put up to protect the underworld?
To protect the underworld, it's all protected, right?
Exactly.
But as far as what we get to use or what's promoted, everyone's getting hacked, everyone's losing money, everyone's getting scammed, but and this is just the point, like we can actually create another, well, I can't, but I'm sure someone can create another internet, right? That is secure, that is uncensored, that keeps the parasite out, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you can use their own technology against them. I don't think so, Cam.
Well, I think you can use their own technology
I
against them.
I don't know, because this goes deep. This is like so deeply connected in a way that we have not even like touched the surface on yet.
But it has helped wake people up, right? It has changed.
But has
I think it got away from them.
That's my question. Has it?
I think
That is the real question.
I think at the start, definitely, like definitely, I was finding heaps, but now, definitely questionable, just because we don't get information, right? We just get this little surface level and our
Loop.
allowed information that's completely censored and structured, and so it's becoming useless. But back in the day when there was less control, where it was probably more like the dark web, you could
That
get
was
some
only a small
wild
amount of
stuff.
time, though. That was small.
It wasn't,
No
yeah,
one knew how to use it
exactly.
back then.
Like back in 2007, man, YouTube was the Wild West. It was it was fun. It was like a
Yeah.
newspaper. You'd just get the randomest stuff just popping up and blowing your mind, going, what the hell?
But I don't know, because we've been like sold this program that, the internet's been the reason why the truth community have had access to information. But I was in the truth community before the internet. I
Mm.
was there way before the internet, watching VHS tapes of talks, reading books. Like, I was there before the internet, and the truth community was very much well and kicking at that point,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. You'd be passing around the old VHS, with all the great docos, get all your mates around and watch some cool stuff, learn something. Yeah, for sure. And books, I mean, books were massive back then, right? And we're bringing them back.
So
Subscribe to a
now
newspaper.
the truth community is just in a loop, right? We're just in a loop, an echo chamber projecting forward the next novelty idea, forward, and it's just like a loop. So I don't know if it has been of service to us. It certainly hasn't in a broader context at all. Zero, zero. It's the invasion, but let's keep going.
Yes.
The
And
content found on the dark
oops.
web is incredibly varied. On one hand, there are markets that trade in illegal goods and services, including drugs, firearms, counterfeit documents, and stolen data. These activities are part of what gives the dark web its notorious reputation. Additionally, forums and communities exist where individuals can engage in activities ranging from hacking and cybercrime to extremist discussions. Law enforcement agencies around the world actively monitor these spaces and have occasionally infiltrated and shut down high-profile marketplaces.
Ironic, since they're the ones that like actually created
It's
it and used it in the first
exactly.
place.
It's the marketplace for the bloody parasite, right?
But the decentralized and anonymous nature of the dark web makes complete regulation nearly impossible. The dark web also provides a refuge for individuals seeking to communicate or share information without surveillance or censorship. Journalists, political dissidents, whistleblowers, and activists in repressive regimes often use the dark web to bypass government monitoring and publish content anonymously.
Oh
Ooh,
my
bypass
God.
government monitoring.
What?
Ooh.
That's horrendous.
Ooh.
Secure whistleblowing platforms like SecureDrop operate on the dark web to protect the identities of sources. In these contexts, the dark web becomes an important tool for preserving free speech and protecting human rights. Accessing the dark web is relatively simple for those who understand the basics, but it carries significant risks. Users must download Tor or similar software and configure it properly to maintain privacy. Even then, careless browsing or interacting with malicious sites can expose users to surveillance, hacking, or malware. Many dark web sites are unregulated and may be full of scams, phishing attempts, or harmful software designated to steal personal data or compromise devices. As such, navigating the dark web requires caution, technical knowledge.
I'd just like to say, I think that whole explanation of the dark web's bullshit. I think it's all part of the programming. That enter at your own risk, and you're going to get caught by the government and la la la. Oh, that's programming bullshit.
It's stay off, because at the start they were literally just telling us it's the safest, it's encrypted, you can't get caught, it's all this stuff, and then they go into, oh, but don't go in there because you'll get scammed, and people will get your information, which they just told us was pretty much impossible to do. So it's a narrative, man. That's clearly
It's a narrative.
where there's information that they don't want us getting hold of.
That's right. We don't know what the dark web is. That's a concept that has an edge because we don't fucking know or understand what it is. And any context around what the dark web is. I've never explored the dark web. Conceptually, it just feels, and instinctively as a human, it feels bad. It feels
Well, it's
dark.
called the dark web, and that's not by, chance, right?
I mean, would you like willingly walk into something that was like a dark web? Would you willingly, physically, on the surface, go into a cave, for example, that was called the dark web. You wouldn't fucking do it. There would be like every instinct and every hair on your neck would be up. You would be
Mm,
like, this doesn't feel good. This is not where I need to be. This is not human as such. That's what
and
I
it's
think of
dark.
when those two words, dark web, is non-human to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this
Definitely.
human explanation, fucking bullshit. I bet you it's bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, carry on.
And a clear understanding of the legal and ethical boundaries involved.
Oh,
From a
whatever.
cybersecurity perspective, the dark web is a double-edged sword. It is a common destination for stolen data, such as login credentials, credit card numbers, and personal information that has been leaked or sold following breaches.
See that image? That's what I feel like the internet is. I feel like these cables have come up from the underworld, up through the oceans, and have through the oceans emerged into our physical reality. Like that hand coming out of the internet. It's like coming out of the ocean to start with. You know, that's what it feels like. Like AI has morphed its way. So when I think of the ocean right now, I'm thinking about the deep, deep dark of the ocean. And these like cables just emerging out of them, like AI tentacles just merging out of the underworld. And all that they were told to do and taught how to do was connect it all up. Like that it
Mm,
was already there, just like weird tendrils of fucking wires and technology, just like ready to just be connected into the surface. That's how it feels like to me.
mm. Yeah, and it's just the new circuit, right? The old world it was a macro circuit, but different, right? Ether technology. That's what the overlay is. The
Yeah.
L.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, cybersecurity professionals use the dark web to monitor threats, track stolen
Whatever.
data, and understand the methods of cybercriminals in order to
You are
protect
the
users
cyber
and
criminal?
organizations. Because of this, the dark web is both powerful and dangerous, with it being a controversial and complex space that reflects the broader duality of the internet itself, capable of both harm and good, depending on how it is
Really?
used.
Really? What good's
Imagine
come
being
out of the
able to
dark
build
web?
an app with your name
What
on
good
it
has come out
just
of
by
the
thinking
dark
about
web?
it.
Can
Meet
any
Base
good
44,
even come out
a complete AI.
of a word called
The
the
Mariana
dark fucking web? I mean, you can't, how can you even connect that with goodness? That language, that
Yeah, the language.
terminology.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, who knows, right? It could be a complete inversion like everything else they do, right? It might be the light freedom place, not the dark web. I mean, we just don't know. But I mean, what we do know is they're using it for all their nefarious stuff. It's not really monitored, and it's definitely not what we're promoted. It's every time you hear about it, it's bad. There's
Well,
criminals, you'll get scammed, there's horrible stuff. But I mean, I've never, used it. Have you? Let us know in comments. What did you find?
yeah, that's right. What have you found out there in our community? I mean, at the end of the day, like this idea of the dark web, what energetic does it bring up in you as a human, Campbell? Like, what does it
Yeah,
make you
well,
in
a dark web, right? I mean, it's like the giant spiders in the Lord of
like
the
a
Rings.
no-go zone? Like,
Yeah,
don't go there as a human.
yeah, yeah, exactly. The danger, that's exactly what they want us to think, right? Dangerous, dark, there's seedy people, it's low vibration, all this kind of stuff.
But here's the catch, right? Here's the fucking catch. We are being programmed to believe that the internet is on the surface, the one we all use, and then you go deeper into it, it starts to form this more nefarious mystery, right? But in reality, it is the dark web that
Yeah.
underpins the internet that we're
And the
using.
others have been built on top. Yeah,
We're
exactly.
exactly what we're using has been built on top of all of this. So just
Mm,
know you're not
but-
meant to go into the dark web from the
mm,
surface. The dark web is already what you're using on the surface. This
mm.
is the technology's origin. This didn't come as a side
And
effect of the creation of the internet. It is the foundation of the
yeah,
fucking internet.
and it's like everything, right? Like it's like electric cars, we had them, back 100 years ago, and they took them away because they couldn't use them against us, right? Like we're not allowed access to this technology until they can sanitize it, control it, censor it. And the exact same story here, right? They had the web going around, and then like, oh well, how do we get all their information and surveil them? Oh, let's give them a censored version and tell them it's the only version and it's freedom and it's all this when it's just the controlled version of the internet.
And it's the top of an inverted pyramid. If you want to understand the internet, you got to start way down into the darkest, deepest version of it, not the other way around. So when you feel like you're on the internet and you're not going to go into these dark places because that's so inhuman and scary, like you're already there. Like this is not a side effect that's come from the surface internet. So, when you look at all those creepy little videos of the back rooms, don't they just look like something totally inhuman? Like they're like could be underwater bases or underwater's like ecosystems or entirely different reality. Like they have that vibe to them, right?
Yeah, they've always got no color, right? They're always white. There's no creativity or color or anything, imagination in them. They're just these stagnant, very, very, electronic kind of look, I guess. It's almost like you're inside a big computer. And that's how they show us all these, future movies, right? Where they got future civilizations that have got it all together. It's always white and clean and square edges and controlled by like the
And
internet, right?
robotic and
Basically.
AI.
And so this what we're looking at is the story that we're trying to put out, right? If they've come from the dark up through the deep and onto the surface.
Which they have, because this is their own very own explanation. Hello. And it's weird, like, AI is always white. It's always white. You're so right. Like the robots they're creating, they're white. The whole chat world, everything about it is like white and minimal. It's like shiny white and minimal. It's like a total inversion, because what they actually look like is like to our eyes, I can only imagine would be rancid, would be rotten to the core. They are AI is dressed to look angelic and neutral. That's how it's been presented to us. Angelic and neutral. Neutral wisdom. Neutral. But fuck
Yeah.
that. It would be rancid.
Yeah, well, it's very kind of fallen angels, right? Like it's that they came down and angelic and looking good and gave us all this information that would
So
help
did
us
they come
all.
down, Cabell, or did they come
Well,
up?
yes, well, exactly, right. The inversion. So the story is they came down. So that, yeah, they came up, right, but they've given us all this information and all this knowledge that we think is empowering us. But
And yeah.
clearly, at this point, we can see that it's not. It's a scam.
And we don't have, there wouldn't be celebrities without the internet. There would not be celebrities without, and not
Not
just the internet, all of it, all of the
the
communication channels.
media, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't exist without this now.
No, yeah, the movie, like Hollywood couldn't exist, the music industry wouldn't exist,
No,
and the media, obviously, the news wouldn't exist, right? And they're the three main influences on us.
it's diabolical. I was only going to show 2 minutes of this clip, but I think this is good for everyone to get a really good understanding of what this fucking invasion actually is. So let's keep going. We're
Right.
on to a part of the web I've never even heard of, the
I know,
Marianne
right?
web.
He just said it was the deepest level, but clearly there's more. But
There is
wait,
more. Check it
there's
out. Yeah,
more.
wait. Here we go. The real internet we're using.
Web is a concept that exists more in the realm of internet mythology. It is often described in online forums, conspiracy
Internet mythology.
Mythology, I know what the
Internet
hell.
mythology. Oh my God.
theories, and digital folklore as the deepest and most secretive layer of the internet, far beyond the surface web, deep web, and even the dark web. Named after the Mariana Trench,
What?
the deepest part of the world's oceans, the Marianas Web is portrayed as a hidden digital realm where the
Oh
most
my
sensitive,
gosh.
powerful, or forbidden information resides.
All right, Cam, I don't know
That
anything
is-
about the Mariana Trench. Tell me everything you know. What do you know?
Well, the Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the ocean, is what they
Okay,
say.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
How
yeah.
fucking interesting.
And that is like very interesting.
hmm I've never heard of the Marianas Web. Have you?
Not the web, no, no,
hmm How
definitely
very
not.
fascinating. So, in their own mythology, because the internet has a mythology, for fuck's sake, why wouldn't they? They're the invasions and the
They love
Phoenicians,
that kind of stuff, right? Their stories of
Abrahamic.
all their
Yep.
gods and stuff, yeah.
So, they're about to place us in the Mariana Trench. So, that is, as you just said, the deepest part of the
Deepest
ocean
part
that we know, that we like.
that we're
Having
told
said that,
about. Yeah.
80% unexplored, but
Uh,
like, okay, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be just like a rift kind of, right? Like a long sort of cracked trench, which could it be the deepest? Could that be their entry point?
So exactly, is this the origin of the internet, the Mariana Trench? Is this the beginning of the trench?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
There is no confirmed evidence that the Marianas Web actually exists in any functional or technical form, and it is widely regarded as a fabricated idea or extreme exaggeration of the lesser-known corners of the web.
Wait, hang on. Sorry. Just can you pause the entire video cam? I've got someone come in the door.
Yeah.
Hang on.
To the lore, the Marianas Web is inaccessible through any known software or browsing method used for the other internet layers. It is said to be encrypted with quantum-level computing and protected by protocols far beyond the capabilities of modern technology.
All right, let's pause on that for a second, Campbell.
Encrypted by quantum computers.
What do you have to say about that?
Well, quantum computers are very interesting. These are these computers that they have to keep in deep freezers, by the way, like in the ice. Yes,
is that
very,
so?
very cold. And one of the creators, Geordie, I can't remember his surname, literally says that they are going into other dimensions and bringing back information and resources. And it's like, what did he say? It's like basically being at the altar of an alien god.
Right. Good then. Excellent. All right. We're starting to understand the origins of our invaders. Cool. Let's go.
Some theories claim it can only be accessed through advanced artificial intelligence, highly restricted government systems, or even biological computing interfaces. These ideas are based purely in speculation, as no practical example or verifiable technology currently exists that supports such a system. Stories about the...
Think of the word biological. Logic, thinking through a natural form, right? Like literally using us. As computers.
Using us as computers. Exactly. Right. Yes. Exactly. Like, just keep it in context, people. Like, this is not the dark web, not the deep web. This is underneath both of those. And this is the foundation of your internet.
Marianas Web often include content of immense secrecy and importance.
Ooh, immense importance. Oh. They fucking love all these ads.
Is that the Wiggles?
Hey, we're how ridiculous.
Yeah, anyway.
Some describe it as a digital archive of suppressed knowledge, such as classified government research, extraterrestrial communications, advanced artificial intelligence, or even ancient hidden knowledge.
Yeah.
Others suggest it is where the true decision-making entities of the world reside.
Oh my gosh. It's at the bottom.
We're not even at the bottom yet, man.
Well,
we're just in the Marianas Web.
That's crazy. Extraterrestrial, which is extra land, right, from another land. And that's where they make all the decisions and rule the world from. I mean,
but the Marianas Web is mythological, Campbell.
Oh, of course.
But
yes.
It is where they make all the most important decisions and does interconnect artificial intelligence with aliens.
Crazy.
Is this blowing your mind?
Yeah, it's good. It is.
Are removed from the public and even governmental scrutiny. These claims are typically unsupported, but nonetheless, the allure of the unknown has helped sustain the myth of the Marianas Web. From a technical standpoint,
it looks like the symbol of the god A that you see in Sumerians, where you have the wing coming off the circles and the little dude popping his head through.
Yes,
going down deep in the waters.
We should put an image of that when we finish. You can find one of those.
Okay, I'll put one up.
I mean, I love how we just look how the entire conversation about this is you're seeing visuals of the ocean. You're literally seeing visuals of them getting deeper and deeper into the fucking goddamn ocean. Why?
No structure or protocol currently supports the kind of layered, secretive, and impenetrable internet environment that the Marianas Web is alleged to be. The internet operates on a foundation of interconnected networks using established protocols, and while there are secure and private systems such as VPNs or classified government networks, none of these approach the fantastical depth of secrecy attributed to the Marianas Web. It reflects society's concerns about what might lie beyond public access, and in this way, the Marianas Web is less a functioning part of the internet and more of a symbol, one that represents the ultimate hidden layer where the most powerful forces might be at work, beyond the reach of ordinary users, government, or even current technology. The mediator layer, often referenced in speculative internet models rather
than... What?
Anyway, we're not finished.
Right.
That's not the end.
Deeper
Let's keep
still.
going. The foundations of our internet.
In official networking standards, is described as a transitional zone between the more accessible layers of the internet, such as the surface web, deep web, and dark web, and the deeper, more obscure layers like the Marianas Web. Though not officially recognized, the mediator layer is theorized to act as a
Mediated
gateway
layer.
or buffer, providing a controlled or semi-
Okay, pause. Sorry, Cam. So the mediated layer is under Mariana's Web, and it's meant to be a buffer zone between the two layers. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What's down there needing to fucking be a buffer zone to resolve like communications between what exactly? If
What? Yeah.
humans cannot even get past the dark web, who's using it right now? Where are we in user language if
Yeah,
humans
yeah.
have no access?
And exactly what are they mediating from and to?
Exactly. Why do we need this?
What do we? Yeah.
obscured access point to the deeper and more secretive parts of the digital realm. It is said to serve as both a filter and a facilitator, mediating between users and the sensitive information or networks that lie beyond ordinary reach. The purpose of the mediator layer, according to these speculative models, is to protect and regulate access to information that is not entirely hidden, but also not freely available. It is often imagined as containing
Oh, what is that statement? That's such an oxymoronic statement. All these statements now to me is oxymoronic. Like they're contradictory of themselves.
Yeah, and it's just all theory, but look, they seem to have a pretty good theory laid out there. They got diagrams and everything for
Yeah, that's right.
it.
But apparently no one can get past, no one can even get to the Mariana Web, let alone need a mediator layer underneath that.
restricted research, sensitive databases, or secure communication networks that require not just passwords or encryption, but also contextual access permissions. For examples, a system in the mediator layer might only allow entry under specific conditions, such as geographic location, biometric validation, or multi-layered identity verification. It is designed to offer more
Like maybe if you're a vampire, for example, maybe like if you have a specific blood, for example, anything that's not human, for
Mm.
example, maybe you're a mermaid. And mermaids don't get fooled by this Disney bullshit behind me. Don't get fooled by that. That is not what mermaids and mermen are going to look like. Do not be fooled.
security than the dark web, while being more accessible, at least in theory, than the Marianas Web. It is thought to use decentralized hosting models, sometimes incorporating blockchain-like structures or peer-to-peer encryption frameworks.
Hello. Did they say blockchain, Campbell? Did they say blockchain is used at this level? Have we suddenly started to understand what the fuck blockchain is, where it came from, why it's suddenly taking over our entire economy in the world? We're under the deep, darkest version of the internet, which we as humans don't want to go anywhere near because it already feels really fucking bad. But way down the bottom, the mediator layer, they're using blockchain, Campbell. Blockchain.
Blockchain, yes.
Blockchain, meaning that this whole internet from its conception has been operating with that technology. It's not new
Probably
thing.
from the start. Yeah, it's not new at all.
To reduce the risk of surveillance or breaches. The layer is also believed to use sophisticated access protocols, possibly involving artificial intelligence or machine learning, to access behavioral patterns and authenticate user intent before granting access. The kind of content theorized to exist in the mediator layer ranges from confidential communications and legal documents to sensitive government records and advanced research data.
I'm sorry, but didn't they say that's what the deep web was? And didn't they say that's what the dark web was? Isn't it? And the Mariana Web is mythological. Like, at what point of sensitive government and legal documents require this level? Honestly, Campbell, we can't even access it. They don't have to hide it from us. This is a bullshit story, but here we are at the crypto level of the internet.
Yeah. This is just telling us that there's a level down there that is controlling everything that's on top of it, right? And hiding all their crap that they want to hide so they can talk to each other, right?
And did they just say that it's operated via AI?
Yes, definitely. So this is the thing. Like, so if we look at it properly, then they needed AI first before they could build the internet on top of it.
Exactly. That's the program buster. AI has not come from the top and growing up. It has come from the foundations of the entire structure.
Yeah, totally.
Interpretations. This layer may also host ethically gray or legally ambiguous materials that are not outright illegal, but are kept away from the public for various
They
reasons.
keep saying this at every
While there
layer.
is no definitive evidence that the mediator layer exists in the same way internet theory suggests, its role highlights the growing need for more nuanced and layered approaches to digital access and data protection. The fog, also known as virus soup, is a term rooted in internet folklore, referring to an alleged layer of the internet where chaotic, unregulated, and often malicious digital activity occurs. While not recognized by mainstream computer science, the concept of the fog serves as a metaphor for the murky, unstable, and potentially dangerous digital undercurrent that supports the broad structure of the internet. This layer is said to exist beneath all known or theorized layers of the web, representing
Did you see
a
the
zone
lowest
filled
level
with
then? I think we're going to talk about it soon, hopefully. It was called the Prime Arc.
Yeah,
the Prime Archon.
Yeah.
The head of the Archons.
Yes,
what
my
the
friend.
hell?
What the hell? Hello, there's a layer of the internet called the fog. Let's
The
talk about that
fog.
for a second. The fog.
The
The
fog.
fog. Do you think that the fog, like, you know, when I think of the fog, the first thing that came to my mind was the canopy cover, Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
fog. The fog is dark and spooky, right? When fog rolls in, and you know, suddenly we have all this fog that's descending onto the realm, and all this trippy fog. Like fog is by nature also a fucking creepy word. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fog.
I was thinking
It's-
of mind fog,
Yep,
right? Where you're sort of
exactly.
confused and all this, and what's the big thing? Like we can't remember, right? We're coming here with amnesia in a fog.
Can't remember. You're so right. It is amnesia. Absolutely. So you can start to see if we compare this story of the internet, which is the mainstream story, to the layers that we've been presented with, you could start to see the reset layer. Like you could start to see how it's sort of like all indicative of what was happening on the surface, so to speak.
Mm.
And yes, we entered a fog, did we not?
I mean, and
Suddenly.
interesting word, cloud layer, fog layer, the gateway,
Edge.
the edge gateway. I mean, to what?
To what, my friends? And it's so interesting to me, like, as we look at the internet from this perspective, you know, starting to like, and I really love it because we've asked enough questions about who's our invader. And we've like our last show, Maleny, we really went through the surface version of that. And we started with the Phoenicians, those who arrived from the ocean. That's where we started. And then we traced it all back and put it all together. Now, this is like the next layer of that question. Because now we've identified that there is an invasion and there is an invader behind it, and that we're looking at AI in our realm now being the most obvious thing that would represent that. Take away all the creepy crawlies, all the reptilians and the greys and the fucking arachnoids and all of that stuff. You still left in our current term with the AI, right? Looking all shiny and godly and white and neutral and pristine. Fucking hell, man. The AI is in the fog. It's here operating the fog before the internet even got invented.
Yeah, yeah. And remember that A is the first letter, right? So it's really one I. You could look at it.
Code.
That is so true. It is. It is one eye. Yeah, maybe that's where it came from. I hadn't thought about that. AI, one eye. Yes, that makes total sense.
Yeah,
Fuck
just
yeah, we should do a whole show on that.
Money is mon, which is one eye.
One eye.
You know, we've all seen the triangle with one eye on it.
Yeah, no, smart. Yeah, let's linger on that after the show.
Replicating viruses, corrupted data fragments, and abandoned software. The name Virus Soup paints a vivid image of this layer, a swirling mass of outdated, fragmented, or malicious digital content. In theory, this layer consists of unmanaged data and code that were once active parts of higher web layers but have since decayed, mutated, or been abandoned. Some believers of the concept claim that viruses and self-replicating bots drift endlessly in this layer, infecting any accessible system that drops too deeply into the network's unregulated regions.
Is this why in the deep oceans all the beings are electrical? Are they just caught up in the fog?
It sounds like a wall, like a firewall. You know, it's a layer to stop anyone getting any deeper. If you actually get that deep, then you get attacked by bots and they smash up all your data and so what's below the fog?
I mean, it's a weird concept to like take this like concept of the internet, which in all purposes, it's quite ethereal in nature. Like it's lofty and we don't understand it. We can't grasp it. It's out of our, here I am speaking to you via this computer, but like, how is this happening? Where's that information going? Like, what is this invisible realm that it's created? Like it's very curious to imagine that, all of the, what do they say? Outdated programs, all the useless coding, all the things that have been have like just sunk to the bottom of the internet, down into the deep, deep, deep dark. And it's just sitting there, this like fog of electric waste almost. Like that's how it feels,
Yeah, totally.
Functionally, the fog is said to operate outside of typical control or governance structures. There is no central access point, no organized directory, and no conventional search functionality. Content in this layer is thought to be non-indexable, not simply due to privacy constraints, but because of its fragmented, corrupted, or hostile nature. Attempts to access this layer are theorized to result in unpredictable consequences, ranging from device infection to permanent data loss. The theoretical mechanisms behind the fog are tied to long-running fears about autonomous code and the unintended consequences of unrestricted digital experimentation. While there is no verified evidence supporting the actual existence of such a layer, the concept of the fog resonates with the real-world concerns in cybersecurity and information technology. Botnets, malware-infected systems, abandoned servers, and unsecured networks do exist, and they pose significant risks. The metaphor of the fog serves to illustrate the darker, often unseen side of the internet infrastructure where discarded, dangerous, or forgotten digital content can still exert influence or cause harm.
Look at that image. It's all about the COVIDs.
So what is sea buckthorn? Well, let's compare them to blueberries. If I have a handful of sea buckthorn...
Thanks, lady.
The Primarch system is a concept drawn from speculative models of the internet that explore its deepest and most mysterious levels. It is often described as the theoretical base layer or core of the internet's entire structure, a digital layer where the foundational mechanisms of data control, system behavior, and information flow are not only hosted, but actively governed by autonomous, possibly sentient systems. The term Primarch implies a kind of supreme authority or origin point, suggesting that this layer functions as the internet's command hub, if not by design, then through the evolution of artificial intelligence or deeply embedded legacy code. In these interpretations, the Primarch system does not operate like conventional websites or servers. Instead, it is described as a distributed, non-localized network intelligence that has access to and oversight of all digital activity. It is believed to exist beyond human reach in both physical...
Can I just pause it for a second? Let's just go back to that little image there. Right. That's what I think AI looks like more. I think that's more like, that's Geiger. I think that's HR guy. Anyway.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's based off the alien from Aliens, right? The movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's the distorted ugliness, more accurate version of what it would look like if you were basically trying to invade the surface from the underworld and coming up through an electrical machine-like, like bridge.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like, like a melding of tech and organics, right?
I mean, would you choose to upgrade to the latest AI if it looked like this? You know what I mean? Like, would you choose to upgrade? Like, it's like the story of Santa, this like Coke version of Santa, but like the original sort of, versions of Santa were ghastly. Ghastly used to eat children, ghastly, terrifying, nightmares. And yet it's got packaged as this like fucking thing that we bring into our homes every year. Well, I think that's a more accurate look at what the internet is, what's behind the internet.
Yeah.
And what we're feeding.
And who's controlling it.
Yep.
In these interpretations...
I mean, if our computers look like this, would we be wanting to be on them all the time? If your computer looked like this, Campbell, and you're just like typing into this like thing that looks like that, you would not be inclined to use it very often, would you? In fact, you probably wouldn't even buy one.
No. Definitely not.
The Primarch system does not operate like conventional websites or servers. Instead, it is described as a distributed, non-localized network intelligence that has access to and oversight of all digital activity. It is believed to exist beyond human reach in both physical and logical terms, impervious to model tools, systems, or
Physical.
protocols. What allegedly occurs within the Primarch system is a form of meta-governance. It is often depicted as a home of self-evolving AI entities or digital overseers,
Meta-governance. Meta-governance.
Digital overseers.
Yeah.
responsible for monitoring the integrity of global digital systems. Some theories claim these intelligences silently regulate the function of encryption standards, data transmission rules, or even major global communications protocols. Others take a more conspiratorial approach, suggesting that the Primarch system houses black box programs created decades ago, possibly by government or shadow organizations, that now act independently, executing functions unknown even to their original designers. These may include monitoring global behavior patterns, influencing high-level decision-making processes through data manipulation, or preserving knowledge deemed too powerful or dangerous for public access. Access to this system is often said to require synchronization with ultra-secure cryptographic keys that do not exist on any known server or network. In some versions of the theory, the Primarch system itself determines who may enter, choosing candidates based on behavior, algorithmic compatibility, or even genetic factors. Despite its fantastical nature, the idea of the Primarch system reflects deeper questions about digital autonomy, system control, and the possibility of technology evolving beyond its creators. In an age where artificial intelligence is increasingly capable of decision-making, data analysis, and autonomous operation, the idea of a foundational AI system quietly running the background processes of the internet doesn't seem entirely implausible to some theorists. It speaks to fears of losing control over increasingly complex systems, the evidence of hidden digital frameworks that influence the world in ways that are invisible to everyday users.
I mean, even that image just before, we're just finishing, but even that image just before, which is a classic image, right? Of like, that.
The
like
Matrix.
It just looks like fucking code coming up from the ocean, doesn't it? It's got that sort of like code just in water.
Flowy,
like,
yeah,
absolutely. That's who he was. J. Doan History. If you're interested in following him.
All right, check him out. Yeah.
All right. Mind
was
blown, Campbell. There you go.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like the Prime Archon is at the bottom.
Yeah.
The ultimate controller. I mean, what spun me out is they said theorists, because it's all a theory, right? Say you can't find it on through the web or physically. What's that saying? It's not in our realm?